Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from Shomu's Biology. In this series of lectures, we are discussing about the mRNA processing, which is a trademark for eukaryotic mRNA transcription. Right after the eukaryotic mRNA transcription, the eukaryotic mRNA need to be processed in order to transport it from the nucleus to the cytosol. We have talked about the 5' capping in the previous lecture. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the 3' polyadenylation. So mRNA 3' polyadenylation is the topic of discussion in this particular lecture. So stay with me because I am going to teach this crystal clear to your eye. Now the thing is, to understand mRNA 3' polyadenylation, you need to understand a simple idea that let's say this is a cell, and inside the cell what we have nucleus. In the nucleus there is DNA. From DNA RNA is produced, but the RNA which is produced in eukaryotes inside the nucleus is known as pre-edited form of the RNA or premature RNA, which is need to be matured. So this mRNA is modified. What kind of modification? The 5' capping should be added, 3' polyadenylation should be added. Once these modifications are done, and then splicing is also done, after all this modification, the mRNA is converted to a mature mRNA. Then this mature mRNA will be transported into the cytosol. So now after the maturation, the mRNA is transported to the cytosol, and then protein synthesis will be done from this, and we'll have proteins at the end to the cytosol. This is how the eukaryotic gene expression works. Okay, very simple, straightforward. Now remember the location of individual processes. There is a transcription, 5' capping, 3' polyadenylation, RNA splicing. All these steps are done inside nucleus, and the processes like RNA editing will occur in the different place, which is not a part of RNA process in the regular mode, but the translation process will be done in the cytosol. Okay, very clear. Now you may have a question in your mind, like why 3' polyadenylation? Why do you need to modify the RNA, right? The requirement of modification is because there are two ways. One, the splicing is needed because the eukaryotic mRNA contains codon for coding amino acids, and also there are codons that do not code for any amino acid. So basically there are too many junk material in the mRNA which are present, which will not code for any particular proteins, right? So what is the point of keeping all this stretch of nucleotides which don't code for any proteins? So that's why the cells cut those non-coding segment of the mRNA out. Those are known as introns. So introns are cut out, and the exons, which are the coding part of the mRNA, are joined together to form mature RNA. That is splicing. But we understand why splicing is important. But why 3' polyadenylation is important? Now I have one answer to you, that is ESP. Okay. Now E, what is E stand for here? E stand for here. So E, export. Okay. S, stability. Okay. And the last one, P, is protection. And there is one more thing, that is initiation of translation or initiation of protein synthesis. These are the four important functions that a 3' polyadenylation plays in the eukaryotic cell. 3' polyadenylation provides stability to the mRNA, protects the mRNA being degraded by the use of exonuclease enzymes. It also helps in the initiation of transcription inside the cytosol, initiation of translation in the cytosol of eukaryotic cells, and it helps in the exporting mRNA to the cytosol. All these four important major functions are played by the 3' polyadenylation. So now you see why 3' polyadenylation is very, very important. Now once you understand that, we'll move on to the process and steps of 3' polyadenylation. The 3' polyadenylation steps are not that complicated, it's very simple. For that, I'm going to show, I'm going to take a different color here and to basically explain you how this process is done. So I will first draw this DNA. Why it's important, I'll tell you in a moment. So let's say this is 3', this is 5', and this is our RNA which is being produced. Okay, the RNA is wavy one and the DNA is straight line. Okay, So the RNA 5 prime, this is mRNA being produced, this is 3 prime of the RNA. Okay, and this is our DNA as we are talking about. Okay, so this is a very simple structure, the process of transcription of the RNA from the DNA template. So this is the template of the DNA, right? This is the DNA template, and this is our RNA that we are producing here. Now what we need to understand, I'll take a different color for a better understanding of this process here. This is RNA, and RNA complementary to the DNA, the template DNA. So the RNA is being produced, and the 5 prime of the RNA is produced first early, then slowly production continues to the 3 prime end of the RNA. This step is very crucial, you need to understand this. The RNA 3 prime polyadenylation process is coupled with the transcription itself. Very important to understand, because it's not likely that the whole mRNA is being transcribed, then the 5 prime capping 3 prime polyadenylation will be done. No. The RNA, upon the making of the 5 prime end, the 5 prime capping begins, and almost at the end, when the transcription at its end, the 3 prime polyadenylation will begin, and it will continue to add multiple A at the end of the 3 prime site of the mRNA, and this process can continue here. Very, very important to understand. Okay. So how exactly this 3 prime polyadenylation will be done? There are 3 important steps. Step 1 is the cleavage. Step 2, poly A polymerase's role, and step 3 is poly A binding proteins. These are the 3 important steps, 3 important constituents of the poly A addition to the 3 prime end of the eukaryotic mRNA. Now step 1 is cleavage. Now what we mean by that is basically, first of all, we need to understand, we need to mark the location where the 3 prime polyadenylation would be done, right? To mark that location, there is a specific signal sequence that is present in the mRNA, a nucleotide sequence as a location to ensure that yes, the RNA transcription is at its end. So now we can initiate the machinery of polymerase. Basically the only enzyme that is involved here in this process is polymerase. So they'll bring the polymerase to the position at this moment. So why? Because they have this particular sequence, and let's say this sequence here, this is this sequence, let's say A, then U, then A. This typically acts as a sequence marking the polyadenylation, a requirement of a polyadenylation, and this sequence is present. Remember, U, A, and there are differences of this sequence from different species to species, but almost similar kind of sequences are found. This sequence, whenever is produced in transcription in the mRNA, let's say this is the sequence produced, that is the point, that is the time frame the cell recognizes, yes, this sequence is produced, so now it's time for polyadenylation. Means whenever this sequence comes up, the end point or 3-hydroxyl end of the mRNA is very near, right? So whenever this signal comes, then comes the recruitment of poly A polymerase. And before poly A polymerase, the very first step is cleavage. The cleavage will be done by what? By endonuclease. By endonuclease. Endonuclease are enzymes which can cleave nucleotide from the middle of the nucleotide, not from the terminal nucleotides, but anywhere but the terminal nucleotides. Those are endonucleases. So the endonuclease, simple RNA, like the endonuclease, they will cleave a particular area from there. So they will cleave that area. Then they will recruit poly A polymerase enzyme. So after they cleave this area, so the mRNA is now kind of being free from the DNA duplex, DNA complex here. Let's imagine this is the mRNA, and this is this is the location which we detected here, AAA. And here comes the poly A polymerase, and now the poly A polymerase continue to add multiple adenine at the 3 prime end. So this is the 3 prime end, and multiple A attached to the 3 prime end. That is done in here. Multiple A is added in the 3 prime end. Once this multiple A is added to the 3 prime end, who does that? By the enzyme poly A polymerase. Remember that. Poly A polymerase. Now what this name signifies? This is a polymerase enzyme, but this polymerase enzyme can only attach A. So polymerase enzyme can attach A, U, C and G in case of RNA. But in this case, this poly-A polymerase can only add adenosine. It can only add A, not any other nucleotides. Then once the polyadenylation is done, then poly-A binding protein comes in. Okay, let me take a different color here again. Poly-A binding protein. So the poly-A binding protein comes in. Looks something like this. This is poly-A binding protein, also known as PABP, poly-A binding protein. This poly-A binding protein or PABP binds to it and it protects the 3' polyadenylated structures, and that is kind of a conclusive step. Whenever the poly-A binding protein binds to it, the poly-A binding protein has a stretch of its sequence which binds to the multiple A residues. So whenever poly-A binding protein sufficiently attaches itself to the multiple A to 3' end of the mRNA, that kinds of concludes our understanding, the kind of concludes the process of 3' polyadenylation at the end in here. That's how the 3' polyadenylation process is done at the end. Okay, so these are the different stages of how this process is done. The step 1 is the cleavage by the endonuclease. Step 2 is poly-A polymerase, addition of multiple A to the 3' end of the mRNA. And third step is poly-A binding proteins, which will bind to the adenine at the end, the multiple A residues at the end of the 3' side. That concludes the process of poly-A polymerization or 3' polymerization of adenine nucleotides. So again, if you ask me the question why this is so important, why this is so significant, because it increases the stability of the mRNA, eukaryotic mRNA, it gives protection to the eukaryotic mRNA, it helps in the export of eukaryotic mRNA, makes the eukaryotic mRNA export ready, and also initiates the transcription process. It initiates the transcription as well. Translation, not transcription, sorry, initiate the translation process, because right after the RNA is being modified, right after the 3' polyadenylation is done, 5' capping is done, that particular RNA will be turned as a mature mRNA, and that mature mRNA will be transported from the nucleus to the cytosol in eukaryotes, and then they will continue the process of translation and protein synthesis in the cytosol. Okay, so these are the 3 different stages of 3' polyadenylation in eukaryotes. Okay, so that's all about it. I believe you have a clear understanding of 3' polyadenylation. If we wish to understand the 5' capping, then watch my video lecture on 5' capping, and then in the next lecture we are going to discuss about the RNA editing process, which is not exactly a part of RNA processing, but RNA editing is very important, which is not polymerase like poly-A addition, not 5' capping, not splicing, but other than that any modification to the RNA comes under RNA editing, which we'll discuss later on. So that's all about it. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends and colleagues, and subscribe to this channel to get more videos like that in future. Thank you. Bye.